So, the Object 268V5. For 15,000 bonds, should you get this vehicle? No! You should go and get a 121B or an M60, and they're the only two that I would recommend for 15,000 bonds. The FV215B did just come into the bond store, but even then I don't recommend that for 15,000 bonds, considering that you can go and get an FV4005. Okay, now that all the people who've got the attention span of a baseball bat are out of the equation, we can now go back to being nice, slow-paced, and enjoying World of Tanks. The V5. This has... It's an amazing gun when it works, but when it doesn't work, it's spectacular, and the platform it's on isn't absolutely amazing either. So, for instance... Oh. I don't know why, but this game, you're going to see some very strange stuff from me, okay? I was speaking to my Twitch chat at the same time as playing, as this was recorded on stream. This is obviously a replay that we're watching, but my brain delay in this game is impressive. Either way, the firepower is very, very good. 303 standard pen with 750 alpha. The standard rounds go at 950 meters a second. You'd have a 395 on the heat rounds, which go at 760 meters a second. And then the HE, which is just the, the cherry on top, 90 pen with 1100 alpha and go at 760 meters a second. And although the shell velocity isn't great, and you could buff it up with perfect charge, for instance, I wouldn't bother with that. I don't even know what crew I have on this tank, to be honest with you. But it's not really the problem of this tank regarding shell velocity and stuff like that. It's more to do with the fact that this doesn't have armor. It doesn't have gun depression. The gun can be very, very derpy. It does have a lot of bloom. It's not very fast. You never actually reach your top speed. And what's funny is that the last field mod on this vehicle, you either go plus 4 kilometers hour to top speed, or you go with DPM buff. And if you go for the minus speed, but then you gain DPM, it doesn't matter. It's basically a free field mod because you never reach that top speed anyway. Even if you put a turbo on this tank, you're not reaching the top speed. You can always choose the, I believe it's the left-hand field mod. I might be mistaken, but whatever the DPM one is, and it's just for free at the end of the day because it never reaches that top speed. So that's quite funny. A fun fact for you. But yeah, this thing is just a bit... It's a little bit more flexible than the Foch 155. Oh, this shot was very interesting, by the way. Look where it goes. It actually went to the left and through like the house roof that had been demolished. Not where I aimed it, but sure, whatever you say, game. It's a little bit more flexible than the Foch 155, but that's not really saying much, considering the Foch 155 has like a 50-second reload and 5-second ninja clip or something. So, yeah, anything is more flexible than that thing. Especially considering this has a turret. So, if you are looking to the choice between the two, then I guess you choose the V5, but I wouldn't spend bonds on either of them. Right now, speaking about the game, it's a little bit of a situation we have going on. You see, they've won the east or the right-hand side of the map, but they've also kind of won the city as well. We don't quite get the shot on the EBR, but this situation, we are up on HP, but we're down one tank. And this is also just terror matchmaking. Look how many TDs there are, and there's 3 artillery. There's only 2 heavies and 2 mediums in this entire game. Here we see the DBV. I aim out because I don't know whether or not he's looking at me, or if he's got his whole face towards me. I then realise he doesn't. We can then fire HE and do 1,000 damage to him. He had fun. Here we have the E50M. We don't quite get the shot. The thing is with this position, I don't want to be taking too much damage because realistically, if we look at the minimap, there's no one actually really there to come and support me. And if I get overrun, we're dead, but I need to conserve my hit points in case I do get overrun. Because at least then I can maybe put one more extra shot in before I do die. Again, we see an FE in the open. We load HE. We could take a shot from the E50, that's not a problem. We need to try and get a shot onto this guy. It goes low into the tracks. We still do 600 damage, and we also get some assistance, but again, it's a little bit unfortunate. We're now down to 7 to 9. However, we are still up on HP. Right here, I'm actually trying to get an angle where I can see. So if we press V, this bit over here, I'm trying to get a look at to see if the E50 is peeking out all the way. Because if he is, then I might be able to go out in front of him in a second. I take the hit for free, sure, but in return, he then dies. So, I mean, technically that's not for free then, is it? But I'm now going to just peek, see if the E50's there. I know roughly, you know, I find the opening where he'll be peeking from. The 452K is then pushing through the middle. We don't have shots on the E50 at all. Our Leo 1 has pushed through the middle. We are only up 23 health at this stage, and it is even on the scorecards. However, what we also need to realise is that it is now 9 to 11. We're minus 800. The thing is, we technically only have 2 tanks, and they still have 3 tanks. So it's actually a 2v3 at this stage. Now, everyone is quite low. If we look at the health, the only person that's really, really healthy is the DBV. Everyone else can potentially be one-shot by the Leo and me. Definitely by me. In fact, everybody can be one-shot by me. But potentially the Leo could one-shot the DBV if he high rolls. Although it would have to be a pretty big high roll. So I'm just defending this corner because I can't let the E50 come in. At the time, I'm not going to lie, I didn't really even look at the minimap. And I was now thinking, at this point I did, and I was like, okay, right, the DBV is preoccupied with the T92. I have to go in and just try and kill the C50. And then I have to hope that the Leo 1 comes back and then tries to kill the DBV. Even if the DBV, or he gets one shot into the DBV, just to guarantee me to get the one-shot kill is good. I still have 680. I'm going out all the way to try and not get proxied, and then I come in late, and then he doesn't know that I'm there. So, again, on the minimap, you see the proxy circle. If you haven't enabled this, I'll just tell you quickly. You go down to here, and then where it says minimap, you'll see proximity spotting circle right here. Make sure all of these are ticked, to be fair. Your minimap will be 10 times better. But always look at that. Leo kills the DBV. I believe the artillery got one shot off onto him, or the Leo hit him twice. And we turned the situation that was quite bad into now very good. Again, I'm not peeking out all the way straight away as soon as I go, because artillery could shoot me. I'm also trying not to knock down stuff, because artillery can obviously see all over this place. So I'm trying not to knock anything over to then give my position away as to where I'm at. Because he could then just blind me, and then, you know, we take a little bit of extra damage. And all that they really need to do is take a little bit of damage, and then in return, I'm then a one-shot for them, potentially. Especially to the CGC. If the 261 hits me once, and then the CGC hits me once, I'm probably dead. So, we then have the Leo. He's pushing up. Lovely. We can try and spot anything over there. The Leo spots him. We aim, we aim, we aim. Luckily, we actually get the hit. I don't think it would have mattered too much whether or not we miss, because the Leo would have probably ended up killing him anyway. And now, the Leo is then going to try and push over this way, but I know for a fact he can't spot down the right-hand side, down the 0 line from where he is, because this tree line is way too bushy to see through it, unless he has CVS, which I highly doubt he has CVS if he went to the city. So I know for a fact that when he goes up here, he still can't see it, because if he was all the way down here at C0, then he's not getting spotted. So the Leo pushes through there. I then know, okay, right, he's not over that way. I don't think the 261 has run that way. He's probably down the 0 line somewhere. So I'm looking over this way. We don't see him. And then go over this way, because this is the only other way that he could really be at this stage. And there he is. And in the chat, you see the Leo say he doesn't understand how he doesn't spot him. But the thing is, he will never get spotted if he goes up there and he's down behind this dip, because this bush protects him and this mound also protects him. So he can't actually see. And then when he goes up around there, you'll never spot him. So, yes. 5.1k and 1.2k assistance in the V5. So, yes, you can have good games in this tank, but for 15,000 bonds, that's a steep price to ask for a tank that is worse than many tech tree ones. I mean, if you don't mind no turret, go and get the tier 10 Chinese heavy, or the Chinese tank destroyer, sorry. and you'll just have a 10 times better time. You still have that 395 heat, you still have the good standard rounds, you have more DPM, you have a better gun. Everything is just better on that tank, apart from, obviously, you don't have a turret. And also, just to show you how bad people are actually playing in this tank, if we go by just win rate, it's the lowest one of any tier 10 tank destroyer. In fact, if we remove the tank destroyer part, it's only being beaten by a Tassac, the 113 BO, and the FV215B. However, interestingly though, if we went by win rate difference, this is not anywhere really close to the bottom, but that's because average players are 48.98% rather than higher rated players that are then playing it badly. So this just means that the average player, which is around about 49% win rate, that's fine, is playing this tank more than good players are playing it, because I think that most good players have realized that this tank is just not very good. And that's fine if you like a bad tank and you want to play a bad tank, but as long as you know that it is in fact a bad tank. But I think the best way of showing you just how badly people are playing this tank is to show you the marks of excellence, because this is comically low. If we go by any tier 10 in the game, the lowest first, this tank is only just above the 113 BO and all the other artillery, apart from the 261. The Object 261 has a higher mark of excellence requirement than the V5. Also higher than the FV215B and the 113 BO. Yeah, this thing, it's 3,411 to market. So no, do not spend your bonds on this vehicle unless you really know what you're getting yourself in for. And to everybody that's going to say that you're wrong and this tank is great, fine, whatever. If you like the tank, you like the tank. But you like a bad tank. See you in the next one.